Here we are, awesome retail point of sale system. We just installed this theme here and customized everything uh, for our awesome retail. Now let's take a look at our layouts here. All right, so the first thing we want to do, I'm thinking, is build a product card because when we're running a retail shop, it's all about the products, right? So all the tables and everything we build are going around that. And this, of course, is assuming you kind of know the basics about FileMaker and database relationships and a relational database and things like that. So anyway, let's we've started our project here. And if we look at layouts, we have awesome retail layout, which is what I called this file. And then we have the theme. So if you go to the theme, we went through the install process to install the theme we purchased. And so everything is already done here for you. And we'll be making changes to that as we go along. But then it has this other thing that has this old Apex blue theme. So I want to go ahead and get rid of that. So I'm going to go over here to File, Manage Themes, just because that gets on my nerves. And we can't get rid of this theme, or I'm sorry, layout. We're not managing themes, we're managing the layouts here. So managing layout. We can't get rid of the Apex blue theme because it comes standard, right? But we can't get rid of this layout here. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that layout. Yes, delete it. And then we also have, so now this is our only layout. We also have in the database, if we look at the different tables we have, they gave us this awesome retail table, which, whenever you start a new solution, they automatically create a table for you that is your whatever you name the solution with their automatic fields. So you can kind of see here the automatic fields. I like to just go ahead and delete that. Let's go back to theme, look at our tables. I'm going to click awesome retail and I'm going to delete that bad boy. Delete it. Get rid of it. Relationships. Here's the table occurrence. We can go ahead and delete that. I just hit tap, delete, and remove it. So now we just have our theme, right? Now I like to do a certain kind of setup here with our themes. And okay, as far as, or not themes, I keep calling it themes, it's your layouts here. I like to do what's called a simple layout. All right, and the simple layout to me is going to be, well, we do a couple, right? So I'm going to do a new folder here, and one folder is going to be for settings, okay? And inside that, I'm going to put my theme. All right. And there's going to be some like back end kind of stuff that we're going to develop as we go on. And then I'm going to do another new folder. And this one I like to call simple. And I'll show you what the simple layout is. So since we're doing products now, I'm going to go Shift Command D or whatever that is for you Windows people to open up my database management here. And here we can see all of our tables, all the fields within each table, and then the relationships between those tables, as you should know if you're at this level watching this video. And this is a video, by the way, for beginners, but just kind of with already a basic understanding. I consider myself an intermediate. By no means am I a black belt in FileMaker. There are many people that know a lot more than me, but I have found that when you watch a lot of high-level videos as a beginner, sometimes they're talking over your head. So hopefully, as me, kind of a middle of the road level person, it's gonna be helpful for you beginners. Okay, so when it comes to our database here, I'm going to add a new table, and this one's going to be our products. All right, so I'm going to create a products field, and in here, so our primary key is you should be familiar with keys. I want it to be a serial number. All right, and I'm going to make it be P-1. All right, and it's going to go up in increments by 1. So it's going to be P-1, P-2, and it's going to generate those. And I don't need a calculated value, right? I do want to validate it. Now, you can do, I mean, there's so many different philosophies here. None of them are correct, right? It's all about your preference, and some have pluses and minuses. You can do it to where it creates a UUID number, and it's this big complicated thing. And I did that for a while, and I had one that was a UUID from behind the scenes, and then I had a different one that was visible, and that I made it look like this. But as long as the customer, or I'm sorry, the user, whoever's using your application, as long as they cannot alter this, right, this field, that's fine. So validation, it can never be empty. It always has to be unique. All right. And that's really all we have to know about this. All this other stuff, don't worry about it for now. And that's that. So we just have to make sure that nobody ever can alter that value. So we say, okay. Prohibit modification of value during data entry. Yes, we do want to prohibit that. So we're going to say, okay, so now we've got our primary key all worked out, but I'm going to change the name of the key. I like to do 2 underscores, and we're going to call this key, or actually, no, what do I call this stuff? Give me a second here. I can't remember what I call my own keys here. All right, never mind. So anyway, yeah, we'll figure out what we're going to call it. We're going to call it key. How about with 2 underscores? I'm going to call it whatever the table is. This is the primary key for products, right? And if it's 1 underscore, then that's going to be the secondary key, or whatever you call it. I'm so bad with words. So anyway, all right, here we go. Save. Yes, we're going to save those changes. So now we got products. All right, and now I'm going to put this in the simple. And now let's open this up, or say, okay, so let's open up this layout here. Now here's how I like to do these layouts. I'm going to go to top nav, and I'm going to go to my theme here. It's on Apex Blue. So you would think you could just change your theme by clicking there, but no, you got to click up here in this little part here. So we're going to change our theme from Apex Blue to what we're using, Awesome Retail here. And I'm going to click on top navigation, and I'm just going to make it whatever my first color is here. Part color 1, great. And then I'm going to go over here. I'm going to click right here on the side of this body, and I'm going to make that be my theme background. I like that little thing there. I'm going to say exit layout. Oh, and one more thing. I like to put here some text. All right, so I'm just going to click on text, and I'm going to write what it is. This is my products. I'll write it in all caps, and let's see if we got some kind of theme. Theme header, bam. Is there a transparent theme header that doesn't have that little background? Font bigger. Reverse, there we go. So let's try and stick to our theme stuff whenever we can. I am going to make this be in the center. All right, you see how it's to the left there? I'm going to go down to alignment and make it be centered. And I'm going to increase, well, it's 21. That's pretty good. Let's make it 24. All right. Oh, nope. There we go. Okay. So now we got it centered, blah, 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 blah. And I can now kind of put this in the middle of there, and you see it. You should have your settings set up there. Bam. So now what I'll do is I like to just pull all of my fields out into the middle. Bam. So now as we build, we can kind of see a very simple layout here for our, for everything we're doing. I don't really use this in my solution. I don't use it like this, but I do sometimes in development. Like the user's not going to use this layout, but sometimes I'll just like to see a very simple layout where you can see all the fields and everything right out there in the open. All right, so let's create some new fields. All right, what are some fields that we are going to need, right? Well, we're going to need, we have the product key. Okay, great. We've already got that. That's going to be the P1, P2, all that stuff. Um, and now what else are we going to want? Well, we want to know, what is the name of this product? That's going to be a text field. You know what? Maybe I should move these bad boys over here to be even, right? Oh, yeah, it's not going to work, right? Okay, so whatever. We'll move these over here. Bam. All right, so we're going to have a name. We're going to have a, well, typically you have a SKU, right? Now the SKUs, they need to be unique, right? Or somewhat unique, right? So we're going to go in here. Let's double click through into SKU, and let's just do our validation and say, is this, we need this to be unique value. We can't have a bunch of things with the same SKU, all right? And can it be empty? I don't know. Is there a situation where we wouldn't want to have a SKU for the name of a product? I don't think so. But so let's just do it like that. There we go. Bam. All right. So we got a name, we got a SKU. What are some other things that when we're selling products in retail we need? Well, we're going to need to know the price of that product. All right. So I'm going to say price, right? That's going to be a number because we're going to be doing calculations on that, right? So I'm going to go ahead and create a price. What else are we going to need in here? You're going to have, like categories. You're going to have a category of products as you're managing. That's going to be text. Create that. And that'll probably come from a value list, but we'll talk about that later. Let's say in our, you're going to have an inventory type. So for example, because it matters if in a retail store, are you keeping inventory? Some inventory you keep and count. Some you buy things and they're your inventory, but you don't count it. And in some instances, maybe it's a service. So it's, those are all going to affect the accounting, and that's something you got to kind of keep track of. So we're going to create the inventory type. And then you may want to have a different type for the product. So like, what type of product is it? Right? So we're going to have that. And then we're going to have, maybe in your organization, we keep up with size. All right. So we're going to have a size and status, maybe you're, it's like you don't sell this anymore and you don't want to keep up with it. You don't want it to show up on your searches. So you make it an inactive product. So we're going to have a status here. And then, is this taxable? Well, this is going to be a yes or no. Is it taxable or is it not? Right? And so that's a Boolean, right? 0 or 1. So for now, we're just going to put number and then we'll work all that out later. What else do we have? And we can always add more stuff later, right? As we're going and developing, kind of figure out, well, what about our tax? Sure, it's taxable, but maybe you sell in different, locations, or maybe you're selling online and you got to pay sales tax for different places. So we're gonna say sales tax category. So like maybe you're selling, it's 7% one place and 11% in another, and if it's, so you're gonna have little things that say if it's taxable, look up the tax category, right? So we're gonna create that tax category. And then we're also going to have GL accounts, right? So your general ledger accounts. So as you're running something, maybe you do a transaction, you do an invoice, and for that product, on the invoice, we need to know, well, what is the cost of goods for this product? Maybe it's something, maybe it's nothing. I don't know. And then we want to know, you want to credit your sales account. You want to credit your cost of goods account. You want to debit your inventory account to make your inventory account go down. So we have GL accounts, so our GL accounts might be, some common GL accounts are going to be like GL account, income account. And so this is going to be text, right? Because we're signifying not the amounts, but the actual, you're going to signify which account that this goes to, right? And that text is going to be matched up in your accounting software, right? And so the GL account, wait, cancel, wait, what? We're going to create it. GL account income, GL account cost of goods sold, GL account inventory. So maybe your inventory gets debited or whatever, or credited or whatever. Or maybe this is not an income account, cost of goods sold, or an inventory account. Maybe it's an expense. These are typically going, like for example, shipping. So you order something from a vendor and then they charge you for shipping, right? Or maybe they charge you a fee to do pack it, whatever. Your vendors are charging you a fee for this product, and when you do it on a purchase order, it doesn't fall into cost of goods sold, doesn't fall into any of these things, and it's an expense, right? So we're going to create all those GL accounts, all right? So this is a good list to get started for products. We're going to, excuse me for yawning. My coffee hasn't kicked in yet. So here we go. Take a big sip of coffee on that account. So, here's a good list to get started for some fields in our product table. So I'm going to say okay. And okay, I don't remember what I was doing here, so I'm going to say cancel. But we got a buttload of new stuff here. So let's make this guy get bigger, and after SKU, we got all this stuff. I like to bring this out here. Oh, there we go. So now we can kind of see all of our stuff here. And now as we build our layout, it is good to see, a product in there. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new record. Boom. So now we got product 1, and I'm just going to go through here and make our first product. Miscellaneous. So like, let's say, somebody didn't put this item in. We're going to say a miscellaneous item that's tax. That's going to be the name of this thing. And we're going to call it, say our SKU for this is this. And and we'll say our price is 0 because we can fill that in on the fly. And our category, let's say, what could be a category for this? We'll say miscellaneous has its own category. Inventory type, we're going to say this is a non-inventoried product. Or no, we don't need to say product because everything's a product in this table. All right, and then our product type, we can leave that blank, right? Or we can put miscellaneous. Oh, I think there's 2 L's. How do you spell miscellaneous? Hey Siri, how do you spell miscellaneous? Oh, isn't that what I wrote? Oh well. You will find I cannot spell. Oftentimes creative people are terrible at spelling. I mean, to me, the English language, the rules just don't make any sense. So it's hard to get anything here. Status is going to be active. Taxable. Well, we just said that this is a taxable text item. So whenever you need a miscellaneous taxed item, a physical item, that's not a service. Our text category, let's say it's going to be default. That's going to be one of our tax categories as we go through. And I just know from experience what all these are going to be. This is not set up to be a business class. This is if you already kind of get an idea of how these things work. our GL income account. It's going to be sales. And we'll work that again. Cost of goods sold. There is no cost of goods sold. And inventory, there's not going to be any inventory here because it's a miscellaneous product and there's no expense. All right. So here we go. We now have our first record. Now we're ready to make our product card. All right. We're getting ready to make our product card. And our product card is going to be like whenever you want to look and examine a product, it's going to be you click a button somewhere and it's going to open up our card and have all this information. We can create new products and alter existing products. And so this is kind of like a template for information that goes on an actual invoice, right? Is what's going to happen here. But I think that's enough for this video. And in our next video, we'll start making our product card.